Yo, yo, how's it howling, YouTube? Today we're going to be reacting to a video by Mr.SantiZap. Who should win their matches at WrestleMania 42? Okay, so we're gonna get either some um insight or thoughts or predictions or thoughts on how WrestleMania 42 should go, how the matches should go. Um I think I have my notions and predictions of how it should go, but let's go ahead and see what other people in Sandy Zap have to say in this video.
Ladies and gentlemen, WrestleMania 42 is just around the corner, and in the not too distant future, your YouTube subscription feed is going to be full of wrestling YouTubers trying to predict the outcome of the show. But here's the thing, those predictions videos are usually full of us telling you who we think is going to win certain matches, as opposed to telling you who we think should win certain matches. And that's the premise of today's video. We're going to look at the 8 matches that have currently been announced for WrestleMania 42, and instead of telling you who I think is going to win, we're going to try and analyze who I think should win. And of course, I'll try and bring my evidence and try and tell you why one result might just be better than the other, even if I think the other result is actually more likely to happen. You'll see what I mean. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel.
Better wrestling wise, or
wrestling fan, I know that you're going to fall in love with this YouTube channel because we always upload daily wrestling content. By the way, this is not a quarter zip, it's a full zip. All right, just to clarify, because a lot of people think I've become some sort of quarter zip bro. It's not the case. By the way, if you do want more than the daily wrestling content that we upload here, come over to Patreon, patreon.com/SantiZap. You already know that. Link in the description, link in the comment. Let's get started with the video. All right, let's start things off by talking about Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams for the United States Championship. And this, out of all of the matches that we have so far announced for WrestleMania, this should be the one that has everyone universally agreeing on who should win this, right? That being said, I do want to talk to the 1 or 2 people out there watching this video that in earnest, truly in their heart of heart believes that Sami Zayn should for some reason or another win this. To those individuals, I just have to ask the question,
what are you smoking?
Okay?
Like,
is the whole life all right?
What are you smoking? Like, what's wrong with you? Why would Sami need to hold on to the United States Championship after WrestleMania? Why would he need to go over an emerging and uberly talented person such as Trick Williams when this is his first WrestleMania? You could give him a really big accolade in winning the United States Championship for his first WrestleMania match. It's the 2 birds with 1 stone thing right there. Why would you do that? That don't make no sense, man. And with his entrance, his entrance music right now and how it is, he's gonna have a great entrance coming in. He's gonna put on a banger of a match. Put the belt on him. I understand some people are fanboys or fangirls, but put the belt on him. Sami don't need the United States belt. He needs a main stage belt. He needs this is the main stage belt, but he needs a top tier belt. He needs the upper card. He needs a heavyweight or the WWE Championship. That's what he should be trying for.
On your end, because why in the world would anyone earnestly believe that Sami Zayn should win this?
Yeah.
Listen, it's already an uphill battle to try and justify Sami Zayn beating Carmelo Hayes for the United States Championship in the first place. And now you really want to sit here and make the argument that Sami Zayn should not only beat and boot off of WrestleMania, one of the most promising young talents that WWE has in Carmelo Hayes, but then now he should go into WrestleMania and beat the other promising young talent that's
because he already
that WWE can clearly build around the future in Trick Williams. No, there is just no genuine, serious argument that I can actually listen to that has Sami Zayn being the one that should win this. In no world does that argument exist. 1 trillion quintillion percent Trick Williams needs to be winning this. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even think that this match should even be for the United States Championship, but now now that it is, and now that we
Now it
can't really
is.
cry over spilled milk because, well,
already
the
there.
truck of milk has already crashed and it's spilled all over the damn place. Now we have to work with what we've got. And what we have here is a United States Championship match involving one of the most over young acts that WWE has in Trick Williams. This absolutely, unequivocally should be a crowning moment for a next generational star in Trick Williams. And it has nothing against Sami Zayn. It's just that now you're in a situation where you're dealing with somebody that is actually super mega over in Trick Williams, and we cannot in any way damage that momentum that he currently has. And giving him the United States Championship, again, albeit I don't think this match should even be for the United States Championship, but now that it is, you absolutely should give him that championship to continue this momentum, continuing to roll. I am very curious what the dynamic of the crowd is going to be in this match, because Trick Williams as the heel is so ridiculously, insanely over, and Sami Zayn as the babyface, I don't know, man. I could absolutely see that stadium booing Sami Zayn out of the building when he's going up against one of the most popular acts in WWE that everybody wants to see win, especially if Sami Zayn were to win this. Now, I guess they could maybe go the route of having Sami Zayn win, get some nuclear heat on himself, and then turn heel, but I just don't think that the upside of turning Sami Zayn heel actually outweighs the negative of having Trick Williams lose here. So, yeah, I think you can kind of guess where I'm going. 1,000,000%. Sami Zayn should lose this. Trick Williams should win. And in fact, this WrestleMania should have a lot of the young talent that many people see as the next guys that can carry the mantle. A lot of them should be winning at this year's WrestleMania. And I think it starts with Trick Willie winning the United States Championship. God, I cannot believe that there's actually people that exist that believe that Sami Zayn should win.
There's always a couple of few people who don't have...
to each his own, you know, I
who don't exactly have all the screws tightened up there.
So if you're the biggest of Sami Zayn fans, then I guess so be it. All right, this is a really fascinating one to actually discuss, because we have Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu. We know now that it is an unsanctioned match, and to try and like talk about who should win this match really opens up a bit of a can of worms, because I actually think that they both should be winning here. But I do think that there's one person that can afford a loss more than the other. Now, this is, of course, going a little bit more inside baseball and talking about things that aren't really discussed on WWE TV. So if you're not into that, I apologize. But you should know that Drew McIntyre is set to film Highlander shortly after WrestleMania. So I don't think it is crazy.
Damn, that kind of gives you the answer right there. Well, no, not definitively, because somebody could win and then still disappear for a time afterward. But it would make more sense for Jacob to win. He wins in a fashion where it looks like he injures McIntyre, and then he goes off and films for a couple of months, maybe half the year even.
Expect that Drew McIntyre is going to be taking time off from WWE in order to film that movie. And if he's going to be taking time off from WWE, giving him the win here doesn't particularly seem like the most efficient use of your wins. It doesn't really feel like feeding momentum in a win to a guy that's not necessarily going to be there in the immediate aftermath to benefit from the win is the most smart choice. Meanwhile, we have Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu is in a really interesting position, because Drew McIntyre has been able to break through the main event mold. He has won multiple world championships at this point. I know that a lot of people still believe that Drew McIntyre isn't really treated and seen as the main event caliber guy that he ought to be treated as. And that's fair to say. But Jacob Fatu has yet to actually even so much as make himself present in that proper main event scene for the WWE Undisputed Championship or the World Heavyweight Championship here. And
one aspect to that is because he got injured, right? Like, he got injured and he wasn't here to be booked and used and prominently put up and booked and pushed as an up and coming superstar. But he's here now, so hopefully that can get rectified.
a win against Drew McIntyre, and especially depending on who comes out as the WWE Undisputed Champion, we could be looking at like a Randy Orton potentially, or CM Punk, who has beef with everyone from the Bloodline. And Roman Reigns did say, hey, Bloodline, you can attack CM Punk before WrestleMania or after WrestleMania. And if Jacob Fatu were to win this match against a former world champion, we could be looking at him being justifiably the next guy in line for CM Punk to continue the CM Punk and Bloodline stuff going on, or go up against Randy Orton potentially if Randy Orton were to win
more
the
so. It's going to be Randy Orton
because
he's on
especially
SmackDown.
If they continue to tell the narrative of who attacked Jacob
Fatu,
they could
surprise
us that
too.
It ended up being a Randy Orton. So because
of
all of those circumstances, and when I look at the
as
world
much as people like to say that they're
who could
predictable,
benefit the
not
most
always.
from this particular win
Not
here, I do think it's Jacob Fatu. This isn't a video telling you who I think is going to win. Again, this is just who I think should win based on these types of circumstances. And I do believe that the best situation here is Jacob Fatu winning because he has a great direct path to both world champions, and he's the guy that's going to be there once the smoke settles after WrestleMania. Meanwhile, Drew McIntyre might not be. Okay, so we have Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee for the Women's
already. I'm sorry if that sounds biased.
This is another one that I think should be easy, but
yes,
I don't know that it's quite as clear-cut as some of the other ones. I do believe that there is a better choice here than another one.
I believe there's a better choice that should be there, but it's not there. Ivy Nile. Ivy Nile should be there. There should be, I think there should be a women's intercontinental ladder match, just the same as there's a men's intercontinental ladder match, you know? I don't think it's, I don't know. Some people might say that, oh, if you're doing two, it's gonna lessen the impact of the ladder match. But I disagree. I beg to differ. I think that you could do two of them, and it would be just as good each time. Going on a little bit of a tangent here, what they could actually do is, since they have men's, well, is what they should do, but obviously I don't think they can. But if they're having a men's intercontinental ladder match, they should have a women's United States Championship ladder match. You know, to be like offset. It's like oh, on the men's side is here, on the women's side is here. They have this here, but ain't there isn't even one soul trying for the women's United States Championship right now. It's actually egregious. I don't know why it's like that, but it is. It's for the life of me, I cannot understand it. But yeah, they so with this, I feel like it should be AJ. Becky should not be getting it back. Becky, after this, I can see them, unfortunately, pushing her towards the Women's World Championship because she has had the belt. She has had that belt. But I don't see why she would need it or what she could do for it. It's not, honestly, she's another Roman Reigns case. They've pretty much done what they need to do, what they can do. Putting them on any more longer will sour them with the crowd and take opportunity away from people who should be coming up and trying to get into that spotlight. So yeah, AJ for this one. Definitely, all the way.
I think that the better choice to win here is genuinely Becky Lynch. And the reason why I pick Becky Lynch over AJ Lee as the person who should win here, not the person that I want to win necessarily, albeit I think in this situation, they're both the same side of the same coin. But I believe that Becky Lynch should win because Becky Lynch is there on a weekly basis as opposed to AJ Lee, who has been there more regularly, but has been there more regularly because it's the build to WrestleMania and all of our part-timers are here, but in true essence, she is a part-timer,
which is why I said there should be different people in this match, namely Ivy Nile. She's a dead ringer for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, but now we're stuck with this, and I don't think it should just go back to Becky. I think it should stay with AJ, and then you get somebody who has not had an opportunity come and take it from AJ. Roxanne Perez. Who said that? Who said that? I don't know who said that, but that sounds like a smart fellow.
The best for the women's mid-card scene to have an absentee mid-card champion that isn't going to be there on a regular basis, elevating the women in the division and having matches and storylines on a weekly episodic episodes of Monday Night Raw. Meanwhile, Becky Lynch, on the other hand, she is going to be there on a weekly basis. We have seen her be an incredibly valuable champion to the Monday Night Raw brand when she is there weekly. The only reason why you might not want to have Becky Lynch win here is because I do think that Becky Lynch should be maybe maneuvering herself to go back into the main event scene. You know, she spent an entire
I don't want to
year
see her
in
do that, but
the women's
I can
tag
see
team
them doing
championship
that
scene.
still.
I think it's about time that we see this particular character version of Becky Lynch going after a women's world championship in some way, shape, or form shortly after WrestleMania. Now, her winning the women's intercontinental championship doesn't necessarily stop her from that.
It doesn't.
But it does kind of create a bit of a weird dynamic, and where the women's IC championship would be in the main event as opposed to
and it would be
elevating the women's mid-card scene. So it's a little bit of a double-edged sword. Now, AJ Lee winning, if she were to win, again, I don't mind her winning if the intention is for her to be semi-full-time or full-time and the follow-up to WrestleMania, maybe to lose it at Backlash or somewhere shortly afterwards. Please. If the intention is for AJ Lee to continue to be a regular contributor to Monday Night Raw, then yeah, sure, I think she should win if that is the case. But I have to kind of just use the contextual clues that we have in front of us, and that she is a part-timer, and when it's not the road to WrestleMania, she takes months in between appearances, and I kind of have to just jump on the assumption that post-WrestleMania, we're probably going to have another AJ Lee hiatus. So because of that, I really firmly believe that Becky Lynch should be the one winning here.
Well, you know what you could have. This will definitely. What you could have happen is she wins it, and then either she gets attacked and injured, and she has to relinquish it immediately because of her injury, or she just up and just relinquishes it because she realizes, well, I can't really hang all that much. As much as I thought I could, so I'm gonna give this up, and whoever wants to come and get it can come and get it. So yeah, I feel like they could do that. Probably not, may not be what would happen, but there's a possibility.
Most excited for, and that's Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar. Out of all of the matches that we have on here, I feel like this is the most unknown. This is the match that has me the most excited, but also the most stressed, because I genuinely could see the argument of either one of these guys winning. Not because I think that Brock
I unfortunately do have to agree there. I can see either one winning, but does it make sense for Brock to win? He's on his way out. Realistically, he's on his way out. I don't see him. It doesn't logically make any sense for him to win. I think it's Oba should definitely be going over. He should be definitely picking up the win here. It's time. It's time for Brock to step aside as the big monster in WWE, the big beast. You know, you can. It's okay. Step down, buddy. It's all right. You know, go and take a break. You good. You don't have to win this.
Should win, it's over. But because I can absolutely see a universe. I mean, it's the universe that we've lived in for a long time, where WWE just decides that Brock Lesnar should win this match. We also know about the story, whether it's real or not, about Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman believing that he shouldn't lose any matches between now and his retirement match. If that is the case, and that is real, and they get their way, well, then it's going to be a hard uphill battle for Obafemi to really politic himself over Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar.
But if that was the case and y'all felt concrete about that, why would you put them in the match
is going to win? Because again, you can make the logical assumption that it could be Brock Lesnar. I really think this is an easy one. I think everyone should be pulling for Obafemi to be the one that should win.
Oba should be winning.
Again, what's stressful about this is, even though I firmly 1,000,000% believe that he should win this, I think this one's a coin toss, guys. I think
there are some people who feel that the thing with Brock and his retirement, he shouldn't lose until his retirement. But the thing is, he's lost in other matches. It's not that drastic that, he needs to be dominant until he retires, like I'm kind of over this whole Brock needs to be put up until this point in time. Like, buddy, it's okay if he eats a pin. It's okay if he loses. It's all right. Just let it happen. It's fine. You need to have him put over the up and coming star that needs that spot to be over in order to be over with the crowd. Like, he's already over. This win will cement him and skyrocket and propel him further into that spot. So please don't be stupid, WWE. Please, please do the logical thing. Have Oba win. It's not that far fetched.
Literally either way, based on what WWE wants to do with Brock Lesnar and or how WWE sees the longevity of the character of Obafemi in the WWE. If WWE genuinely and earnestly sees Obafemi as the next Brock Lesnar, the next beast of the main event scene, the next guy that's going to be at the top of the food chain for the next 10, 15, 20 years, then it should start here. And I think logic should dictate that regardless of what Brock Lesnar wants to do, regardless of when Brock Lesnar is going to retire, that you should pull the trigger on Obafemi winning.
That still goes into what I was saying, because why are we adhering to what Brock Lesnar wants? He's on his way out. We should be putting everything full forward into the person who just got here and is going to be here for the next decade. It's a no-brainer. Please, don't be stupid and be like, oh, let's preserve his image until his retirement. No. Nah. Nit. Yada. Yeah. No. Don't do that. Put Oba over.
Now, if you're a fan as well and you're tired of the old guard continuously holding this main event scene, then you should really be pulling for Obafemi. Maybe even if you're a Brock Lesnar fan, because even if you're a Brock Lesnar fan, you know that Lesnar is gone, aren't you? In a couple of months.
I know
he's gone, and he seems like the type of guy that once he retires, he ain't coming back. He's probably just going to disappear in some farm in Saskatchewan, Canada. Meanwhile, Obafemi, again, even if you're a Brock Lesnar fan, you could connect the dots that this is the guy that's going to be here for a really long time. And even a Brock Lesnar fan should probably be pulling for Obafemi. Again, if WWE is actually going to do something with the current Obafemi push and make him the next long-term viable monster of the main event scene. It's an interesting one, man. I'm really nervous for this match. Super excited for it. But I truly believe in my heart of hearts, regardless of what Brock Lesnar and Heyman wants, regardless of how
in general, it's
far away we are from Brock Lesnar's retirement, this should be a Mania like WrestleMania 21, where we start to crown a couple of these young guys to be the guys that carry the torch over the next couple of years.
You did it with Brock in 2001. Do it with Femi right here. Like,
we've already talked about, and here Obafemi as well. Obafemi should
did it with Brock
be
in the early 2000s.
Again, will he though?
Do it with Femi right here.
That remains to be seen. All right, now let's talk about what I think might be the most controversial thought that I have here.
This one, this one is a little difficult. This one's a little difficult. I think it'd be good for Rhea to win because we'd get a new person as a women's WWE championship. But she's been at the top already. She doesn't exactly need the women's WWE championship right now. Jade, I still think, does need it. In just in general, I feel like we've yet to see an actual good run with her in being the champion. So I think that goes to say that she should win, and so that we can get that prominent reign that still has yet to be seen from her being the champion. I don't know. This one's a real toss-up. Yeah, I thought I was concrete on it before. Nah, keep the belt on Jade. I don't want to see Rhea win it. But when I put things together in my noggin, it's kind of difficult. If I once I get past it shouldn't be Rhea because she's been there. Yeah, it's kind of difficult. I don't know on this one.
That being who I think should win between Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley for the WWE Women's Championship. I know that a lot of people, not necessarily everybody, but a lot of people are really tired of Jade Cargill as champion because she hasn't been a great champion. I would argue that WWE hasn't really allowed her to be a great champion.
Yes, that
her only like real feud before this was Jordan Grace, and guess what? The match that they had was actually like pretty solid. Like it seemed like it was universal.
And that was a shame because I thought they were going to branch out and have her go to Mania and fight her for the belt. That would have been great. I'd have been all for that. But for some reason, that fizzled out, and I don't even think she's on SmackDown anymore. I don't know if she's injured or it's kind of weird.
Universally liked for the most part. I wanted to see more of that on the road to WrestleMania for Jade Cargill and more of those types of matches during her championship reign, but unfortunately what we've gotten for her championship reign has been an absolute barren wasteland. And unfortunately this feud in the promo
it feels like pretty much nobody's pressing her for the
hasn't
belt.
Exactly spoke confidence either for the future of her women's championship reign. We also know that WWE loves mommy. They know that she is insanely ridiculously marketable. She has that potential to be that crossover star. So I could absolutely, in a similar vein to Brock Lesnar, could just see WWE making the impulse decision to just go with their known commodity, their known top draw in the women's division, in Rhea Ripley to become WWE Women's Champion. Let me just quickly make the case here for Jade Cargill. I think that, believe it or not, and please don't boo me here, just listen. I think she should maybe win this match, but I'm not really sold on the idea.
Fair.
Like I'm not married to
either
it, but
way.
Right now I'm leaning towards she should win. She has a brand new faction that really needs to get over. If Jade Cargill on the onset of the formation of this new faction immediately loses the WWE Women's Championship, that faction is completely DOA, dead on arrival, irrelevant. So
now there is that thing where some people were saying that this faction is a way for Jade and Michin to pull one over on Jade at the match. I feel like they may be doing we're sleeper agents. We're saying that we're with you, but we're not really. We're just gonna wait till you're in the dead of your match at Mania, and then we'll screw you over, and then we'll fight you and put hands on you afterwards and stick it to you. Which is still a thing that could happen, but more so than not, it probably will be they'll stick to still being a faction with her. Which, if they are, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. They definitely couldn't use some building up, and if this faction does that for them, then I'm all for it. Because without this, BFAB and Michin really aren't, and that's such a shame. That just goes to show the type of booking that WWE does with them. You know, they should be bigger than what they are right now without having to be in a faction. You shouldn't need a faction to be built up every time. You should get that good booking to put you up, aside from being in a faction. So it's this one's a real toss up. I don't know, Jade or Ripley. I'll still say for Jade for now.
That would be kind of killing this entire act if she were to lose. Additionally, and again, I've been saying this for a while, so take it with a grain of salt. It feels like Bianca Belair is right around the corner, and what Jade Cargill desperately needs is the feud with Bianca Belair. And I do think that the feud with Bianca Belair, it being for the WWE Women's Championship, would make it so much better. If she were to lose that WWE Women's Championship, it lowers the overall I don't know, like danger factor or believability of her and her faction. And if Bianca Belair were to come back to a disheveled faction and a recently beaten champion, I don't think that feud lands as well. Meanwhile, you got Rhea Ripley, and I'm gonna be honest, like, does she need this title? No. I actually kind of agree with what she was saying, where I think that if anything, the title needs her more than she needs the title. But Rhea Ripley can do anything and everything that she wants at any moment.
Some people
go
kissing their teeth when they heard her say that.
Women's World Championship at any moment. If she were to win this WWE Women's Championship, I don't know that this really does much for Rhea Ripley in the long term here. Meanwhile,
it doesn't do much for her or the division. Like, okay, she's here and she's the champ. What, she gonna go back and forth with Jade for it? Is Michin gonna try for it? Is BFAB gonna try for it? You gonna have Kiana try for it? Well, you should have Kiana try for it. Kiana should be definitely. Well, she should try for the Women's United States and then drop that and then try for this one. But y'all just need new people in general. I need some people coming from NXT. Kalani, Lola, Jada, Thea, Fallon. Y'all need to come up. Yeah, y'all need to get some more people from Evolve to be put on NXT. Take their spots, fill those spots out, and have those people come up from NXT up to here for both shows. You should be putting at least 2, maybe 4, possibly on each show. We need at least 4 new women for each show because it's feeling lackluster right now with both the divisions. Really.
Or to win here, it benefits not just her, but BFAB, Michin, and the longevity and the intrigue in her feud with a returning Bianca Belair. Listen, I love Rhea Ripley, and I know that there's a lot of Rhea Ripley Twitter accounts that are gonna like rip me apart, but I hope you realize that like this isn't coming from like I like one person more than the other. I'm trying to look at things a little bit more objectively. But I also recognize again that Jade's championship reign has not been good, and her winning here doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to get good either. But I think more things benefit from Jade Cargill winning than Rhea Ripley. So yeah, I mean, it might be a little bit of an L take, but I think that Jade should win. Okay, here's a match I'm significantly far more excited for. We've got Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan. And what's awesome about this match here is that I think I'm perfectly good with either of these two winning. I think
Stephanie
you can
more
make
than
a
Liv.
really strong would argument for either of these two. The argument for Stephanie Vaquer is
Stephanie.
that, well, in a similar vein, but not to the same extreme, her championship reign kind of mirrors a little bit of Jade Cargill, and that she hasn't really been able to show her full stuff, right? When you look at the Rolodex of women that she's feuded with, it's been basically Nikki Bella and Raquel Rodriguez, and now Liv.
I hate that they actually gave Nikki. I'm sorry, but she's not on the level of anybody here, actually. She's not on the level of anyone here. I don't know why they gave her even the time of day to even consider her being a viable option for Stephanie Vaquer's championship. Like, she should not have been here. She shouldn't have been trying for the belt. Raquel, I kind of wish they didn't have her fight her all those times and then lose, because she just feels like an option now, just for her to just wrestle against, as opposed to an prominent option to beat her and take the belt from her, which I still think that she very much can. It's just they got to take some distance from that, because in no way, shape, or form should Raquel, let's say either whoever wins this, Raquel, whether Stephanie wins it and then Raquel goes back to trying to fight her again for it, or Liv wins and then Raquel turns on Liv and goes after the belt. It should definitely be Raquel within the coming months afterwards trying for that belt again. And more so, people from NXT coming up and trying their hand at the belt too. Because there's no great number of people who are in the mid card right now on Raw in the women's division who can try for this. There's the 3 in the Judgment Day. There's Stephanie, and then there's AJ and Becky. Maxine and Natalia, but ain't nobody looking at Natalia for. I'm sorry, ain't nobody looking at Natalia for the women's world championship as a contender for that. No, Ivy too. Ivy, man, they've been doing some of them a disservice, honestly. But for this, I would say Stephanie. She still has a lot to show out for the belt and the division as a whole. So, Liv, I'm just saying, just in general, based on her last run with the belt, it wasn't great. I don't think it's going to change and be any better from here. So, I'm sorry, that last title run soured me. It was not great. It was not good at all. Um, really, hence why I was like, no, don't put the belt back on Liv or Rhea all that quickly, because their last runs, they weren't it. So
Morgan, but that means that we haven't
I'd
had her
go
go up
with
against
for this
Asuka.
one.
We haven't had her go up against Io Sky after, you know, the Wepapalooza match. We haven't had her go up against Rhea Ripley, against Becky Lynch. There's a lot of like really marquee names that people really want to see Stephanie Vaquer go up against that she hasn't really had the opportunity to yet. And then on the other side, you have Liv Morgan. You have invested heavily in Liv Morgan, becoming one of your top players on Monday Night Raw. She is, you know, with Becky Lynch, your top heel of the brand. You just invested her winning the Royal Rumble. So, you know, you got a lot of chips in the Liv Morgan bandwagon right now, and pulling the trigger on her would certainly pay dividends for all of those investments that WWE has made on Liv Morgan. Many of you guys know that if I am a stan for anybody, it's Stephanie Vaquer. But I don't mind the idea of Stephanie Vaquer losing here and continuing to feud with Liv Morgan, maybe winning it back somewhere else down the line. We know that there's a lot of drama going on right now with the Judgment Day, so there could be some opportunities for title changes, you know, with Liv Morgan losing it because of things going on with, you know, her beef with Raquel that hasn't really been paid off.
I hope they do that. I hope they actually have that happen, where they pay that off for or make it start. You know, they haven't actually put that into actual full context yet. They've hinted at it here and there, but Raquel hasn't actually opposed and stepped to Liv and say, hey, yeah, how you're going is foul. You know what? Here, this is what I think of you. Now we're done. I want the belt.
Maybe there's going to be something going on with Roxanne, etc. So I think there's room for her to win, you know, pay off.
But Roxanne should be getting the Royal
Rumble, going into Mania, winning, and then losing it, maybe like straight up right back to Stephanie Vaquer a couple of PLEs down the line. This is a feud that I want to see keep going. I think everybody, even with the little amount of time that they've gotten, has been wildly impressed with the chemistry, both as in-ring characters, promos, even though they don't even like fully speak the same language at the same level to one another. But their physicality has also been fantastic in terms of their chemistry. So I would love for this feud to continue beyond WrestleMania.
I don't feel
and for it to justifiably really make sense for it to continue beyond WrestleMania. I kind of have to go against one of my favorites here and say that Liv Morgan should be winning here. All right, then we have the SmackDown main event side of things. We have Cody Rhodes going in as the WWE Undisputed Champion, defending against a newly healed Randy Orton. This one is so fascinating because it really is a matter of circumstance as to like what happens in this match. Like, let's say, you know, like if there's a world where there's a double turn that's going to happen and Cody Rhodes is going to turn heel, I don't want Cody Rhodes losing that WWE Championship. I want heel Cody Rhodes to retain, and then I want to see what a heel WWE champion Cody Rhodes looks like. If there is no plans to turn Cody Rhodes heel, then yeah, I think you kind of gotta really put the stamp of approval on this recent Randy Orton heel turn and allow him to gun for 15. Additionally, I would say that Cody Rhodes is probably better off chasing the WWE Championship. I think a lot of people have recently especially have come to that realization. So having Randy Orton win here would also give us...
Yeah, that feel is more widely felt, that he's better chasing it than when he has it. Yeah, I can see that. What you should do, you should have him lose it, and then he takes a couple months off. He comes back, but he's on Raw, and he's trying for the World Championship, the World Heavyweight Championship, instead of this one. So
a champion,
because he's been gravitating around this belt forever.
Randy Orton win that 15, but it also kind of gives us the best version of Cody Rhodes, which is Cody Rhodes chasing the WWE Championship. I don't think that there's as many layers as some of the other, conversations that we've had here in terms of like who stands to benefit the most, who needs the bigger rub, who needs the bigger win. At the end of the day, like we're talking about two guys that are
who
at the top of the
at
pyramid.
The top.
You got
really
Cody Rhodes, who is literally
right
like the guy, and then you have Randy Orton, who no amount of losses could literally damage his stock in the WWE. I mean, this is a guy that went for like a 2-year losing streak on PLEs, not being anywhere near the WWE Championship picture, and then boom, they can just snap their fingers and put him into this ecosystem, and no one's gonna bat an eye. Like, that's the type of stock that we're dealing with here. So the win going either way doesn't exactly change the sales of either boat. That's why I kind of hinge on the circumstances of the match itself and where the storyline is going to go. If Cody's going to turn heel, Cody should win. If he's not going to turn heel, then I think Randy Orton should win to give us the most entertaining version of Cody Rhodes, which is Cody Rhodes chasing the championship. I'll assume that Cody will not turn heel for the purposes of this, so I'll say that Randy Orton should be winning here.
And maybe next we have what I think will be a presumed night 2 main event. People are starting to get sour on him
versus Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship.
But yeah,
I'll be the first one to tell you that I actually think that Roman Reigns is going to win this. However, this is not what this video is. This is the video trying to explain who should win, and I think that CM Punk should be the
some Punk should win. Punk should win. Can I see Roman winning this? Yeah, because that's the usual. He's a usual safe bet for the higher ups. But I think if you want a more compelling show and product for Raw each week, especially with new people, Punk is your guy. Punk can speak and talk and jab verbally with anybody. He's a better draw, I think. And Roman is pretty much on his way out. It's not a oh well, you'll always say he's a part. Yeah, he's a part timer. Why are we gonna put a belt on a part timer who he ain't gonna be here but about maybe 3 more times in the year? I don't think I should put the belt on him. I think I should have it stay on Punk, and then have him fight maybe LA afterwards. I wish you would take the belt and put it on LA, but that's just me. Sorry, I know I'm not supposed to be biased here, but you should definitely keep it on Punk for better fluidity for the World Heavyweight Championship title picture on Raw. You should definitely keep it on Punk. It would make more sense.
One winning here. I do think that there is a strong
I think this is just
for Roman Reigns.
Let's have the match at Mania and get past
it, the World Heavyweight Championship. My goodness, does that legitimize that championship and completely remove the stink of it being the Losers Championship? Ironically enough, a stink that Roman Reigns himself kind of put on that championship to begin with. But I have to stick to my guns about part-timers being champions. And if I'm going to say that AJ Lee shouldn't be women's mid-card champion because she's a part-timer, then I'm going to stick to that argument that Roman Reigns shouldn't be world champion because he's also a part-timer. Now, there is a difference between, your world champion being a part-time draw versus what's supposed to be a workhorse championship and the Intercontinental Championship. So it's not necessarily apples to apples here. And we have seen Roman Reigns as a part-time champion before, and it was a massive draw. I still don't love not having our champion there on a regular basis. When Roman Reigns was a part-time champion,
it hurt the product
of the TV when Roman wasn't there.
It hurt the show. It was like, hey, where's the champ at? Oh, well, he's got a part-time contract, so he's not going to be here every week. What? Why do we put the belt on him? Why did we do that? That kind of seems a little counterproductive, does it not? Why we should have the belt on someone who's always here? That don't seem like a smart decision. So yeah, I think this is a no-brainer. It should stay on Punk.
or objectively worse, and things only got good when Roman was there. And I just don't want that to be the case again. Yeah. Additionally, WWE and their storytelling has kind of set up CM Punk to have a really fascinating post-WrestleMania World Championship reign should he actually beat Roman Reigns, especially if he were to like cheat or something, because we did have Roman Reigns, you know, call the hotline bling and tell every Samoan to go after CM Punk before or after WrestleMania. And we've already talked about the possibility of Jacob Fatu beating Drew McIntyre, ascending himself to a world championship contender, going after CM Punk. It makes a natural transitional sense here, and I do think it opens us up for some really fascinating Bloodline versus CM Punk storylines to be told in the absence of Roman Reigns, storylines that are better told and more interesting if CM Punk is the world heavyweight champion. Again, don't get me wrong, you can absolutely still tell those stories and have those matches with Roman Reigns having won, with CM Punk being the world champion, but it will hit harder if CM Punk sneaks out of there as the world champion and he still has more Samoans gunning after him for that world heavyweight championship. So because of storyline implications, because I want my champion to be there on a regular basis, I'm actually going to say that CM Punk should be the one to win this, not Roman Reigns.
Should be Punk.
All right, folks, we'll leave it there. I know what this video will probably trigger is a lot of people being mad that I said Jade Cargill should win. I hope I explained it well. If
watch your head, brother. Watch your head.
Comments below. But that's it. Take.
All right, great video by Sant. Yeah, I think some of these decisions were great. Some of the decisions by him were I didn't all the way agree with. Or I just downright did not agree with. But yeah, AJ and Becky, AJ should win. Brock and Oba should win. Rhea and Jade, that's a bit of a toss-up. I don't know. Well, for now, maybe. Jacob and Drew. Jacob should definitely win, especially if Drew's not going to be here after a while because he's going to be filming. Who else? Who the else? Tag team. Well, oh, the one thing he didn't talk about is the men's Intercontinental Championship. Jovan should win that. I know some people are going to be like, oh no, Finn should win it. He should definitely get the belt. No, Jovan needs that belt. If you're going to have all these, all three of the most coming up prospects, male prospects coming up, and they're going to be at Mania, they all have matches at Mania, you need all three of them to win. I think it's a no-brainer that through the whole card, all three of them should come up with the W. So, Javon should get the Intercontinental, Trick should win the United States from Sammy, and Oba should put, Lesnar down. And then Cody and Randy, I think Randy should still win overall, just in general, unless they do the whole who Cody. Well, that's still kind of complicated to think about. Just for right now, it should be Randy. And then Punk and Reigns, that's a no-brainer. It should be Punk. Punk is more versatile. He'll be here, and he'll give better feuds when he's here with as a champ. So all right. Well, but yeah, this all still speculation. We're a couple weeks out from Mania. We'll see who actually does win. Let's hope WWE does the the smart idea, the actual logical conclusion in most of the matches. Not all of them are guaranteed to go the way that you think they should or that it should, but yeah, but we'll see. It's not the road to WrestleMania 42 is not the greatest, but it's still something to go ahead and watch. So we're gonna watch it. We'll be here watching it. But thank y'all so much for joining me. Hear me yap about wrestling stuff. Y'all can see I'm a big wrestling fan, and I love to yap about wrestling stuff from time to time. So thank y'all so much for joining me, and I shall holler at y'all on the next one.